on the Northwestern Rangers. The Rangers come into this game with a record of 7-1 following last weekend's 4-game sweep of the Truman Bulldogs. It was a great series for Ranger hitters who scored 31 runs on 40 hits over the 4-game series. Rangers were paced by Dylan Bradford, who hit .667 with 8 hits and 3 RBIs. Carson Wright hit .364 with 4 hits and 4 walks. Paul Sachin hit .333 with 4 hits and 3 RBIs. Center fielder Trevor Sayre hit .400 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Colby Grace hit .429 with 3 home runs. And Theron Perkins hit .333 with 3 hits, including a walk-off grand slam and 4 RBIs. The Rangers were also blessed with 4 solid outings from their starting pitchers. Garrett DeHaas, who is starting today, went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 4. Drew Price in Game 2 went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 1 earned run and struck out 3. Matthew Potts in Game 3 went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs and struck out 2. And Jacob Fuller started the 4th game, went 4 innings, gave up 1 earned run and struck out 4. For the Ouachita Baptist Tigers, picked to finish 3rd in the GAC in the preseason poll. They come into this opening GAC series with a record of 3-3. They are led offensively by Kirian Tirio, hitting .364 with 2 RBIs, and the TCU transfer G. Allen, who's hitting .316 with 1 home run and 2 RBIs. On the year, the Tigers as a team are hitting .232 with 5 home runs, and 25 RBIs. On the mound for the Tigers will be junior righty Cooper Timmons out of League City, Texas. Timmons last year finished 3rd in the GAC with 118 strikeouts and was first-team all-conference. He is making his 3rd start of the season. He is 0-1 so far. He's gone 9 1/3 innings with an ERA of .579. He's given up 11 hits, 6 earned runs, 7 walks, 7 strikeouts, given up 1 home run, and opponents are hitting .275 against him. Facing Timmons today, Coach Ryan Bowen and the Northwestern Rangers will counter with the 6'5", 230-pound senior from Mino, Oklahoma, Garrett DeHaas. The righty will make his 3rd start this year. In 7 1/3 innings, he has an ERA of 6.14. He's given up 8 hits, 5 earned runs. He's walked 7, struck out 6, given up 1 home run, and held opposing batters to a .267 average. Garrett was the Game 1 starter, of course, last weekend against Truman State, and he went 5 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 3, and struck out 4. Facing Garrett today will be center fielder Talon Heine, who will lead off for the Tigers. He will be followed by left fielder G. Allen, second baseman Wesley Scott. Batting 4th will be right fielder Isaac Nowell. Batting 5th will be Cole Bedwell playing first base. Third baseman Kirian Tirio will bat next, and he'll play third base, and he'll be followed by catcher Cade Burris, shortstop Reese McWilliams, and designated hitter Josh Bolin. The Rangers will counter with first baseman Dylan Bradford, getting the start today and leading off. He'll be followed by Carson Wright in left field, second baseman Hagen Barcelo at second. Paul Sachin will bat 4th and play right field. Center fielder Trevor Sayre will bat next, followed by Colby Grace at third base. Brady Bejarano as the designated hitter, catcher Zach Vital, and shortstop Jacob Wiltshire. We're just a few minutes away from first pitch. First, we'll have the national anthem, and then it's opening weekend for GAC play for the Northwestern Rangers. Talon Heine to lead things off. As the Rangers open up GAC play in this three-game series against the Ouachita Baptist Tigers. Heine, a senior out of Toole, Texas, up around the Red River area. Batting .222 on the season. No home runs, no RBIs. And the first pitch from DeHaas, and that ball is going to be fouled off. And the count is 0-1 to the Tigers center fielder. 0-1 pitch, and that ball is going to be bunted up the third base line, but it'll roll foul. And that'll move the count to 0-2. Well, GAC play opening up this weekend. Arkansas Tech is at Oklahoma Baptist. Harding is at Southern Nazarene. Henderson State is at Southwestern. East Central is at Arkansas Monticello. And Southeastern Oklahoma State will be at Southern Arkansas to lead things off. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's just off the outside corner for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. Here's DeHaas with the 1-2 pitch, and that's outside for ball two. DeHaas's first start of the season against Metropolitan State, he had some control issues. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball's going to be lined into center field. Sayers got the catch. No, he dropped it. Heine rounding second. He's on his way to third. And the throw is going to be not in time. And the Tigers get their first hit of the day with a triple, although we'll see how the official scorer wants to score that. Either way, though, the Tigers are in business with a runner on third and nobody out in the top of the first. That'll bring to the plate G. Allen, the TCU transfer, hitting .316 on the season. First pitch to G. Allen is fouled off. The count is 0-1. G. Allen's got 1 home run and 2 RBIs on the season. On base percentage of .500. 0-1 the count, runner on third. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be a little high for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-1. Ouachita Baptist picked to finish third in the GAC this year in the preseason poll. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be low and inside for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Wesley Scott on deck for the Tigers. G. Allen out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Philosophy major. And the 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Moves the count to 2-2. 2-2 the count to the Tigers' starting left fielder, Wesley Scott on deck. Runner on third, nobody out top of the first. Here's the pitch, and that's a swung on and missed for strike 3. And there's your first out of the inning. So that'll bring Wesley Scott to the plate. Wesley Scott today is playing second base for the Tigers. Scott is a freshman out of Dallas, Texas, Lake Highlands High School. Comes into this game hitting .067 on the year. Here's the first pitch to Wesley Scott. That's going to be low for ball 1. 0-1 the count. Wesley Scott, 15 at bats so far on the season, 1 hit, 3 RBIs. Here's the 1-0 count. And that ball is going to be lifted into center field. Trevor Sayre is there. And he makes the catch. Runner tags. Here comes the throw from Sayre, and he is going to be out by a long way. What a throw from Trevor Sayre, and the Tigers are doubled up. So Tigers get a leadoff triple to start things off, but don't have anything to show for it. We go to the bottom of the first. Our score is tied 0-0. Dylan Bradford will lead things off for the Rangers in the bottom of the first following the fantastic throw from center fielder Trevor Sayre to throw out Talon Heine, who was tagged up at third. If the word's not out, these Ranger outfielders are not the team to run on. Fantastic throw from the Rangers center fielder. Dylan Bradford to lead things off for the Rangers. Junior out of Tucson, Arizona, leading the team in hitting at .448. No home runs, 6 RBIs. And he will face Cooper Timmons. And the first pitch to Dylan Bradford is called for a strike. 0-1 the count. Timmons, an all-GAC first-team pitcher last year for the Tigers. The 0-1 count is fouled off. And that'll move the count to 0-2. Tigers brought back 3 out of their top run producers from last year in G. Allen, Dustin Bermudez, and Michael Quinones, combined for 35 home runs and 149 RBIs. Well, Dylan Bradford's going to be down on strikes. So there's the first out. That'll bring Coach Ryan Bowen to come and have a chat with the home plate umpire. Bradford will be followed by Carson Wright and Hagen Barcelo are the scheduled hitters. Carson Wright off to a good start this season, hitting .385 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. Coach Bowen still visiting with home plate umpire. And conversation is over. There's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the first. Carson Wright steps to the plate. Wright starting in left field today for the Rangers. Carson, a junior out of Bellevue, Nebraska, biology major. And he will face Cooper Timmons. The first pitch to Wright is looked at for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that ball is going to be sliced into right field, but foul. Now, well, goes over to look at it. 1-1 the count. There's 1 out in the bottom of the first. No runs on 1 hit for the Tigers. No runs on no hits for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. And that's high for a ball. Counts moves to 2-1. 2-1 the count. And that ball's going to be fouled off. And that'll move our count to 2-2. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That ball's going to be hit to center field. Heine on the run, but he's not going to get to it. That's going to get over his head. An extra bases for Carson Wright. He rounds second. He's on his way to third, and the throw is not going to be in time. And the Rangers have a triple in the bottom of the first. Boy, Carson Wright just absolutely hits a rope out to right center. And the Rangers are threatening in the bottom of the first. So that'll bring to the plate Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo for the Rangers off to a little bit of a slow start. He's hitting .233 on the season with a home run and 5 RBIs. And he'll try to get the Rangers on the board. The first pitch to Barcelo is looked at for a ball. Cooper Timmons, a very good strikeout pitcher for the Tigers, had 118 strikeouts last year. 1-0 the count to Barcelo. That's swung on and missed. And the count moves to 1-1. Hagen Barcelo, a junior out of Houston. Hit 15 home runs last year. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And so that moves our count to 1-2. We're in the bottom of the first. Both teams have a hit. Both teams have got a triple. Ouachita Baptist unable to get a runner across. We'll see what the Rangers do. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. And the count moves to 2-2. 2-2 the count. Timmons gets the sign from Cade Burris. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be off the plate. And that'll move our count to 3-2. Paul Sachin in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 3-2 the count, runner on third. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for ball 4. So that'll put runners at first and third for Paul Sachin. Sachin comes into this game second on the team in hitting. He's hitting .429. He has a home run at 9 RBIs. He has walked 6 times and struck out 3 times in 28 at-bats for an on-base percentage of .543. He will face the right-hander Cooper Timmons. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch to Sachin is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Runners on first and third. 1 out in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. And that's a called strike. That'll move the count to 1-1. So 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and he's going to hit a grounder up on it. Second baseman Wesley Scott over to second for 1. Not in time to get the runner at first. Meanwhile, Carson Wright comes in to score, and the Rangers lead it by a score of 1-0. So Paul Sachin hits into the fielder's choice. But he does get the run across. So that'll bring to the plate Trevor Sayre. Sayre with that fantastic throw in the top of the first. Runner takes off, and the throw is not in time. And the Rangers have their 16th stolen base of the season. By the way, they are now 16 out of 16 in steals. So runner on second base now. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Rangers leading it 1-0 in this opening weekend of GAC play. The 1-0 pitch is fouled off. That'll move the count to 1-1. Trevor Sayre on the season hitting .273 coming into this game. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He has walked twice and struck out 7 times. Counts 1-1. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to get through for a base hit. Sachin rounds third. He's going to score. Sayre's going to hold up with a single, but the Rangers now lead it by a score of 2-0. Nice piece of hitting by Trevor Sayre. Pick up the RBI, and that'll bring to the plate Colby Grace. Colby Grace, third on the team in hitting so far. He's hitting .385 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs, and the first pitch to Colby Grace is a called strike. 0-1 the count to the Rangers' starting third baseman. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that ball's going to be roped into left field. That's going to get in for a base hit. And the Rangers now have runners on first and second. Ball hit right by Tigers' third baseman, Kirian Terrio. And that'll bring to the plate Brady Bejarano. Bejarano, the Rangers' starting designated hitter in this game. Bejarano comes into this game hitting .444 on the season with an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Bejarano. That's off the plate for a ball. So 1-0 the count. Rangers have 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. Lead it 2-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll bring our count to 1-1. Zach Vital on deck for the Rangers. 1-1 the count. Brady Bejarano out of Surprise, Arizona, a junior. 1-1 pitch is going to be fouled off. That'll move the count to 1-2. Cold day in Alva. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. That'll move our count to 2-2. 41 degrees and windy to start things off. In other words, it's perfect weather for baseball. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Bottom of the first, Rangers leading it 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that's a called strike 3. But the Rangers get 2 runs on 3 hits. Rangers lead it 2-0. We're going to the top of the second. To the top of the second we go. Isaac Nowell will lead things off for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Cole Bedwell and Kirian Terrio out to face Garrett DeHaas. Rangers leading it 2-0. And here's the first pitch of the second inning. And Nowell will foul that off. Count is 0-1. Nowell comes into this game hitting .227 with a home run and 2 RBIs. He has struck out 6 times. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. Count will move to 1-1. Cooper Timmons in the bottom of the first, starting pitcher for the Tigers through 27 pitches, 17 of them for strikes. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. 2-1 the count. And that ball is going to be lined up the middle. Wiltshire with the great play at first, and there's the first out of the inning. Wiltshire had to scoot a little bit in order to get there, but get there he does, and the slick fielding shortstop for the Rangers retires Nowell 6-3. And that'll bring to the plate Cole Bedwell. Bedwell, a sophomore out of Southlake, Texas. First pitch to Bedwell is inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into shallow right field, foul territory. First baseman over to make the catch. Dylan Bradford had to be careful of that wall over there, and there's the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kirian Terrio. Terrio out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. First pitch to Terrio is a called strike. And the 0-1 pitch is going to be lifted foul. That'll move our count to 0-2. 0-2 the count as DeHaas is looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's just off the plate for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. One-two pitch is going to be low for a ball. Terrio, the leading hitter for the Tigers so far, hitting .364, no home runs, 2 RBIs. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into foul territory. Dylan Bradford over there to take a look at it, but it's going to go foul. And the count's going to hold at 2-2. Ouachita Baptist coming into this opening GAC series with a 3-3 record. That ball's going to be lifted into left field. Carson Wright is there, makes the catch, and is 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second, and for the Rangers, it'll be Zach Vital, Jacob Wiltshire, and Dylan Bradford. They lead it 2-0. Zach Vital, Jacob Wiltshire, and Dylan Bradford set to hit for the Rangers in the bottom of the second. Rangers got 2 runs in the bottom of the first, lead it 2-0. In GAC play so far, Harding and Southern Nazarene are tied 0-0 in the second inning. Henderson State and Southwestern, first pitch scheduled for 2 o'clock. Rangers lead this one 2-0. Zach Vital set to lead things off in the bottom of the second for the Rangers. Vital, a junior out of Plano, Texas, hitting .364 on the season. And the first pitch to Zach is going to be fouled off, and the count is 0-1. Vital, .364 so far in the season. No home runs, 3 RBIs. He has walked twice for an on-base percentage of .462. Down 0-1 in the count, and this 0-1 pitch is off the plate for a ball, and that'll move the count to 1-1. One and one the count. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-1. 2-1 the count. Jacob Wiltshire on deck for the Rangers. Here's the pitch, and that catches the outside corner, and that'll move the count to 2-2. Rangers have been the beneficiaries of 2 fantastic defensive plays early on. One by shortstop Jacob Wiltshire. The 2-2 pitch is high for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-2. One by shortstop Jacob Wiltshire. The other, of course, on the throw to home to get Talon Heine in the first, following his leadoff triple. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off, and that'll hold the count at 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So that's the third Rangers strikeout so far. Cooper Timmons, of course, a very good strikeout pitcher for these Tigers, was third in the GAC last year. That'll bring to the plate Jacob Wiltshire. Wiltshire, junior out of Tucson, Arizona for the Rangers. Slick fielding shortstop. And here's the first pitch to Wiltshire. That's over for a strike. Wiltshire comes into today's game hitting .273, no home runs, no RBIs. He has walked twice. Rangers do have a stolen base today. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike two. Rangers, so far on the season, have 16 stolen bases, and they have not been thrown out yet. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into left field. G. Allen is there, makes the catch, and it's 3 up, 3 down for the Rangers. No, it's not. That's only the second out. So 2 outs. That'll bring up Dylan Bradford. Bradford is 0 for 1 today. He was called out on strikes in his first at bat. Here's the pitch, and the first pitch to Dylan Bradford is over for strike one. Oh, and 1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. Count is 1-1 to the Rangers' starting first baseman. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's inside for ball 2. Cooper Timmons now with 40 pitches thrown, 25 of them for strikes. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for ball 2. No, ball 3. It's 3-1 now. So Dylan Bradford looking to get on board here in the bottom of the second. He would be followed by Carson Wright, who tripled in his first at bat. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's outside for ball 4. So for the second inning in a row, the Rangers have got a base runner on against returning first-team All-GAC pitcher Cooper Timmons, and that'll bring to the plate Carson Wright. Wright, as we mentioned, tripled in the first inning. Eventually came home to score. Here's the first pitch to Wright, and that's going to be chopped to shortstop McWilliams, who's up with it. Throw over to first base, and there's the third out of the inning. We go to the top of third. Rangers leading it 2-0. Cade Burris, Reese McWilliams, and Josh Bolin up to bat for the Tigers in this inning. Garrett DeHaas so far has only given up the 1 hit. It was the leadoff triple by Talon Heine, who was eventually thrown out trying to score from third. Here's the first pitch. And the first pitch to Cade Burris is high for ball 1. DeHaas so far faced the minimum number of batters. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be taken for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Rangers leading it 2-0. We're in the top of the third inning. Rangers opening up GAC play this weekend. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's over for strike 1. Cade Burris, a senior out of Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's high for ball 3. Oh, 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's over for a strike. And that'll move the count to 3-2. Reese McWilliams on deck for the Tigers. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That ball's going to be lined into right field. Sachin is back on it, and it is foul. It's a long foul, but it's a foul. So the count will hold at 3-2. One of those balls that just kept slicing and slicing and slicing away from Ranger right fielder Paul Sachin. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And Burris lifts that one into left field. Sachin will go over and have a look at it, but that will also go foul. And the count holds at 3-2. 31 pitches thrown so far for Garrett Dehas. 18 of them for strikes. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be chopped to second base. Barcelo up with it, fires over to first. And Cade Burris is retired. 4-3 if you're scoring at home. And that'll bring to the plate Reese McWilliams. McWilliams hitting 143 coming into this game. 1 home run, 1 RBI. Here's the first pitch, and that's over for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. Move the count to 1-1. Over in Bethany, Harding and Southern Nazarene are still locked up at 0-0. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. And that'll move the count to 1-2. Rangers leading this one 2-0 in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. And the count goes to 2-2. Rangers will play 2 today and then 1 tomorrow against these Tigers. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Reese McWilliams is down on strikes. That's the second out of the inning, and that'll bring to the plate Josh Bolin. Bolin today's the designated hitter for the Tigers. He comes into this game hitting 167, no home runs and an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Bolin, and that's on the outside corner, strike 1. Talon Heine in the on-deck circle. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be hit to second baseman Hagen Barcelo. Up with it, fires over to first. 3 up, 3 down for the second straight inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Rangers leading it 2-0. To the bottom of the third we go. Cooper Timmons still on the mound for the Tigers, and he will face Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, and Trevor Sayre. The scheduled 1-2-3 for the Rangers in the bottom of the third. Rangers leading it 2-0. Hagen Barcelo walked his first time at the plate, and he looks at strike one. 0-1 the count. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Rangers. No runs on 1 hit for the Tigers. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-1. Still no score between Harding and Southern Nazarene. Nope, looks like there is a score. It's now 2-1. Harding leading. That ball is going to be hit to shortstop. Reese McWilliams up with it, throws to first. There's the first out of the inning for the Rangers. So that'll bring Paul Sachin to the plate. Sachin is 0 for 1 today, hitting to a fielder's choice, but did manage to get a run across, so he has an RBI. Came around to score later. The first pitch to Sachin is off the plate for a ball. Harding leading Southern Nazarene 2-1 in the top of the third. Henderson State and Southwestern set to start here in about 25 minutes or so. The 1-0 pitch to Paul Sachin is fouled off. The count is now 1-1. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside and low for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Sachin will foul that one off, and that'll bring the count to 2-2. Two and two the count. Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-2. Timmons to this point has walked 2 and struck out 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. So that'll be the third strikeout for Cooper Timmons. And it'll bring to the plate Trevor Sayre. Sayre today is 1 for 1. He's singled. Drove in a run his first at bat. Here's the pitch. And that fouled off. 0-1 is the count. So 0-1 the count to the Rangers center fielder already with a highlight throw in the first. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll bring the count to 0-2. Bottom of the third, Rangers leading it 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. Coach Bowen over there showing everybody his skills with the right foot. 0-2 the count. Nobody on in the bottom of the third. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that ball's going to be hit to shortstop Reese McWilliams up with it. And the throw is in time to get Trevor Sayre. So the Rangers are retired. We go to the top of the fourth. It's Rangers 2, Tigers nothing. Talon Heine, G. Allen, and Wesley Scott scheduled to hit for the Tigers here in the top of the fourth. Heine to lead things off. He is 1 for 1 with a triple as he led the game off with a rocket to right center field. First pitch to Heine is looked at for strike one. Was eventually thrown out at the plate for the third out of the top of the first on a fantastic throw from Rangers center fielder Trevor Sayre. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's off the corner for a ball. And the count is 1-1. Garrett DeHaas working his fourth inning. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into right field. Paul Sachin is there and makes the catch, and there's one down. So there's one out in the top of the fourth. G. Allen to the plate. He struck out in his first time up to bat. One of two Tigers that DeHaas has struck out in this start. Here's the first pitch to G. Allen, and it is upstairs for ball one. 43 pitches thrown by the Rangers starter, 26 of them for strikes. Want to know the count here. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. And the count's going to move to 2-0. On deck for the Tigers is second baseman Wesley Scott. 2-0 the count here to G. Allen. And the 2-0 pitch is looked at for a ball. And that'll move the count to 3-0. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's ball four. So G. Allen works the walk. That'll put the Tigers, give them their second base runner of the game. And that'll bring Wesley Scott to the plate. Scott flied out to center fielder Trevor Sayre back in the first. And so he's 0 for 1. Isaac Nowell on deck for the Tigers. DeHaas checks the runner at first. This is not a team that runs a lot so far this year. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for ball one. So 1-0 the count. Runner on first. Rangers leading it 2-0. There's one out in the top of the fourth. Rangers leading it 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for ball two. So DeHaas, after flying through the first three innings, facing only the minimum number of batters possible, is down 2-0 in the count after the leadoff walk. Here's the pitch, and that catches the inside corner. And the count moves to 2-1. A cool, crisp February day for baseball here in Alva. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Ball's going to be roped to Bradford. Steps on the plate for one and over to second. And the throw is not in time. Fantastic play by Dylan Bradford over at first. But the Tigers are able to advance the runner to second. So that'll bring up Isaac Nowell. Nowell's 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to shortstop Jacob Wiltshire in his first at bat. And here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside to Isaac Nowell for ball one. Tigers now have a runner on second. There's two outs in the top of the fourth. Rangers leading it 2-0. And here's the 1-0 pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into right field. Sachin is there as the ball drifts foul, makes the catch, and there's the third out of the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Rangers leading it 2-0. Colby Grace, Brady Bejarano, and Zach Vital set to the hit for the Rangers. Bottom of the fourth. Colby Grace to lead things off. He's 1 for 1 with a single. And he swings at the first pitch. He's going to pop it really high. First baseman Cole Bedwell there to make the catch. And it's 1 pitch, 1 out for the Rangers here in the fourth. So that'll bring up Brady Bejarano to the plate. Bejarano is 0 for 1 today. He was called out on strikes in his first at bat. Here's the first pitch from Timmons to Bejarano in the bottom of the fourth. That's off the plate for ball 1. 1-0 the count. We're in the bottom of the fourth with 1 out. Rangers leading it 2-0 as they open GAC play against the Ouachita Baptist Tigers. The 1-0 pitch is called strike. And so that'll move the count to 1-1. One and one the count. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's outside for a ball. Peel down to first base, but no swing. And that'll move the count to 3-1 to the Rangers' designated hitter. Zach Vital on deck. He will be followed by Wiltshire and Bradford. Here's the 3-1 pitch. The 3-1 pitch is going to be fouled off. That'll move our count to 3-2. Three and two the count. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Rangers leading it 2-0. Here's the pitch. And that's off the plate for ball 4. So that's the third walk issued by Colin Timmons. And that'll bring to the plate Zach Vital. Zach is 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. Rangers have a runner on first with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Leading it by a score of 2-0. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Rangers. No runs on 1 hit for the Tigers. And Vital squares to bunt, pulls back. Count is 1-0. So 1-0 the count. Runner on first, Brady Bejarano for the Rangers. Fires over to first, and they got Bejarano. So Bejarano caught leaning. And that'll be the second out of the inning for the Rangers. Count is, here's the pitch. And Vital will foul that one off. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into right field. Nowell is there, makes the catch. So the Rangers get the runner on, but are unable to do anything else. We go to the top of the fifth. Rangers leading it 2-0. Cole Bedwell, Kirian Terrio, and Cade Burris set to hit for the Tigers. Garrett DeHaas out for his fifth inning of work. He's thrown 52 pitches so far. So certainly at this pace, he could easily give the Rangers another 2, maybe 3 innings. Rangers leading at 2-0. We're in the top of the 5th. And the first pitch is going to be bunted foul. Counts 0-1. Harding leading Southern Nazarene 2-1. Opening weekend of GAC play. 0-1 the count to Cole Bedwell. And here's the pitch. And he squares around a bunt, pulls it back. That one's going to be a called strike. And the count moves to 0-2. Tigers leading hitter Kirian Terrio in the on-deck circle. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into left field. Carson Wright settles underneath it. And there's the first out of the 5th for the Tigers. So Kirian Terrio steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He flied out to Ranger left fielder Carson Wright in his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Squares to bunt, pulls it back. Ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike, and that'll move the count to 1-1. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. That'll bring the count to 1-2. Tigers again picked to finish 3rd in the GAC this year in the preseason poll. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's off the corner for a ball. Count moves to 2-2. Cade Burris in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. Here's DeHaas with the 2-2 pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into left field. That's going to fall down, and the Tigers are going to have their second hit of the game. And that'll bring to the plate Cade Burris. Burris in his first at bat grounded out to Rangers second baseman Hagen Barcelo. So Tigers with a runner on first following the leadoff single from Terrio. 1 out, top of the 5th. Rangers leading at 2-0. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be inside for ball 1. Want to know the count? DeHaas getting the sign from Zach Vital behind the plate today for the Rangers. And here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Count moves to 1-1. Terrio does not have a steal this year, nor has he attempted one. 1-1 the count, 1 out, top of the 5th. Throw over to first, Terrio back safely. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Runner takes off for second. That ball's going to be hit into left field. Carson Wright is back, makes the catch, and there's the second out. Terrio back to first. Rather brisk breeze blowing in. Reese McWilliams to the plate for the Tigers. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. And that gets the inside corner for a strike. The count is 0-1. DeHaas with 64 pitches thrown, 38 of them for strikes. And here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. Meanwhile, it's going to get away from Vital, and Terrio is going to take second. So Terrio on to second. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be high for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. Josh Bolin in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. 2-1 the count. Runner on second. 2 outs in the top of the fifth. Rangers leading 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for ball 3. So that'll move the count to 3-1. Three and one the count. Here's DeHaas with the pitch, and that's inside for ball 4. So the Tigers now have runners on first and second. 2 outs. Josh Bolin steps to the plate. Bolin grounded out to second baseman Hagen Barcelo in his first at bat. Tigers with their best scoring opportunity of the day. DeHaas checks the runner at second. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 1. Want to know the count. Here's the pitch. And that's over for a strike. And that'll move the count to 1-1. Tigers leadoff hitter Talon Heine in the on-deck circle. If Josh Bolin can extend the inning on Rangers starter Garrett DeHaas. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be hit into the hole. Diving Colby Grace can't get to it. Runner will score. And that'll move our score to 2-1. Just a soft grounder that was hit in the perfect spot. And that'll bring up Talon Heine, Heine is 1 for 2 today. Led off the game with a triple. Was thrown out at home by Trevor Sayre. His second at bat, he flied out to center fielder Trevor Sayre. 2 outs, top of the fifth. And the first pitch to Heine is fouled off. And the count is 0-1. 1 run now on 3 hits for the Tigers. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Rangers. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be in for a base hit. McWilliams is going to come in to score. Bolin to third. And Heine to second. So we have a brand new ball game. Score is tied 2-2 now. We'll have a visit to the mound. Garrett DeHaas has pitched pretty solidly, giving up 2 earned runs now on 4 hits through 4 2/3. G. Allen will bat for the Tigers now. Allen is 0 for 1 today. He has struck out and he has walked. Top of the fifth with 1 out in Bethany. Harding leads Southern Nazarene by a score of 2-1. In the bottom of the first, Henderson State and Southwestern are tied 0-0. Here it's 2-2. We're in the top of the fifth with 2 outs. Runners on second and third for the Tigers. G. Allen to the plate, and the first pitch to Allen is outside for ball 1. Garrett DeHaas has now thrown 74 pitches, 42 of them for strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be inside and low for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-0. Wesley Scott on deck for the Tigers. 2-0 the count. Runners on second and third. Tigers have scored 2 here in the top of the fifth to tie the game up. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be fouled off. That'll move our count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's swung on and missed for strike 2. So 2-2 the count. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be roped into center field, but Trevor Sayre is there, makes the catch, and there's the third out of the inning, but the Tigers strike for 2. We're tied 2-2. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. Jacob Wiltshire, Dylan Bradford, and Carson Wright set to hit for the Rangers in the bottom of the 5th. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Tigers now. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Rangers. Cooper Timmons still on the mound for the Tigers. Rangers opening up GAC play this weekend against the Tigers. The first pitch to Jacob Wiltshire is a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Good night last night for Ranger basketball as both the men and the women beat Northwestern. Both teams travel to Shawnee tomorrow to play Oklahoma Baptist. The 0-1 pitch to Wiltshire is taken for a ball. And our count is now 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Wiltshire is going to lift that one foul. Count will hold, move to 2-1. Be a good weekend for basketball in Alva with the Rangers playing Oklahoma Baptist and the high school team beginning district play this weekend, or district playoffs anyway. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed. And that's the first out of the inning for the Rangers. Dylan Bradford to the plate. Bradford's 0 for 1 today. He has struck out and walked. Followed by Carson Wright. And the first pitch to Bradford is low for a ball. Jacob Wiltshire, the 5th Ranger hitter to strike out against Timmons, who struck out 118 last year. And the 1-0 pitch to Bradford is taken for a ball. And that'll move our count to 2-0. Rangers got 2 in the first, have not scored since. Tigers were shut out until the 5th when they scored 2. 2-0 the count. Bradford's going to hit that over to first base. Bedwell up with it, flips to the pitcher, and there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring Carson Wright to the plate. Wright today is 1 for 2. He tripled in his first at bat and grounded out in his second at bat. So bottom of the 5th, 2 outs. Rangers and Tigers are tied 2-2. And we'll have a visit to the pitcher's mound. Conversation is ended. Carson Wright in to face Cooper Timmons. And the first pitch to Wright is low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be inside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-0. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 2-0 the count. Nobody on. Bottom of the fifth. Score tied 2-2. And the 2-0 pitch is low for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-0. The 3-0 pitch, and that's over for a strike. Move the count to 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Timmons, and that's going to be outside for ball 4. So Carson Wright is the fourth Ranger hitter to be walked by Cooper Timmons, and that'll bring to the plate Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo walked in his first at-bat. Grounded out to Reese McWilliams in his second at-bat. The Rangers have a runner on first. 2 outs in the fifth. Score tied 2-2. Here's the first pitch to Hagen Barcelo. That catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Fire over to first. Right back safely. Pretty quick pickoff move by Cooper Timmons. He caught Brady Bejarano leaning earlier in this game. Here's the pitch. And that catches the outside corner for strike 2. So 0-2 the count to the Rangers' second baseman. Barcelo last year had 15 home runs for the Rangers. Down here in the count, 0-2. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off for a second, but that ball is going to be fouled. And the count will hold at 0-2. Barcelo, 15 home runs last year, 1 home run so far this year. It's going to take a pretty good shot to get one over the fence today, however, with the wind blowing in the way that it is. Here's the pitch. And Barcelo just gets a piece of it. Count will hold at 0-2. 83 pitches thrown now by Tigers starting pitcher Cooper Timmons, 49 of them for strikes. Oh, and 2 the count, 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. Rangers with a runner on first. Hagen Barcelo at the plate, Paul Sachin in the on-deck circle. Timmons checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. That ball is going to be skied into left field, and it's going to get down for a hit. Carson Wright, who was moving, gets to third. Now the Rangers have runners on first and third. Hagen Barcelo with his first hit of the game and the Rangers' fourth hit of the game. And that'll bring to the plate Paul Sachin. Sachin so far today is 0 for 2. He grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. There's an opportunity here to get the Rangers back in front in this game. The score is tied 2-2. Rangers got 2 in the first. And the Tigers got 2 in the fifth, and that's the extent of the scoring. Here's the first pitch to Sachin. That's going to be outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to the Rangers' right fielder. Came into this game hitting .429. The 1-0 pitch is low for a ball. And the count moves to 2-0. If Sachin can get on board, he would be followed by Trevor Sayre for the Rangers. Sayre's got a hit today. Here's the pitch. And the 2-0 pitch is low and inside. And that'll move the count to 3-0. 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's over for a strike. Count moves to 3-1. So 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for ball 4. So the Rangers have loaded the bases in the bottom of the 5th. Trevor Sayre steps up to the plate. Sayre today is 1 for 2. He is singled, and he grounded out. He also has one of the 2 Ranger RBIs on the day. This would be a wonderful time to come up with RBI number 2 for him, or 3, or 4. Here's the pitch, and he's first pitch swinging. That's going to be hit into right field. Ball's going to drift foul. Nowell cannot come up with it. And that's going to be a very emphatic strike one. Nowell has not yet gotten up. Now he's sitting up. See, hit that right field fence going pretty hard. Looks like he's okay. So 0-1 the count to the Rangers center fielder. Bases are loaded. Right at third. Barcelo at second. Sachin at first. Score is tied 2-2. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Tigers. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rangers. Cooper Timmons on the mound for the Tigers, pitching his 5th inning. He's thrown 90 pitches now. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. So that'll move the count to 1-1. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Nobody warming up for the Tigers. 1-1 the count. And that ball is going to be low for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. Timmons gets the side from Cade Burris. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. And the count moves to 2-2. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle, hoping to get a shot here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, score tied 2-2. Bases are full of Rangers. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Cooper Timmons loads the bases, but he comes up with a big pitch to strike out Trevor Sayre. We're moving to the 6th inning. Our score is tied 2-2. On to the 6th we go. It'll be Wesley Scott, Isaac Nowell, and Cole Bedwell to hit for the Tigers. Garrett DeHaas for the Rangers on to work his 6th inning. Thrown 78 pitches so far to this point, giving up 2 runs, 4 hits. Score is tied at 2-2. Rangers had an opportunity in the bottom of the 5th, loading up the bases. Unable to come up with the timely hit there. Here's the first pitch to Wesley Scott. That's going to be outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be hit into right field. Paul Sachin there. And it's 1 up, 1 down for the Rangers. Here in the 6th. Isaac Nowell to the plate. Tigers right fielder today is 0 for 2. He is grounded out and flied out to Paul Sachin in right field. First pitch to Nowell is low for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Oh, 1-0 the count. And the ball's going to be hit to third baseman, past third baseman Colby Grace. And the Tigers have their 5th hit of the day. A hard line drive hit to left field by Nowell. And that'll bring to the plate Cole Bedwell. Bedwell today is he's 0 for 2. He flied out to Ranger left fielder Carson Wright and then popped up in his second at bat. 1 out in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch to Cole Bedwell is taken for strike 1. Kirian Terrio in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. DeHaas checks the runner at first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's over for strike 2. DeHaas thus far has pitched 5 1/3 innings, give up 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Ahead in the count 0-2 here. The 0-2 pitch is going to be taken for a ball, and the count is now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that ball is going to be hit into left field. That's going to get through for a base hit. And back-to-back singles for the Tigers now. They now have runners on first and second for Kirian Terrio. Terrio's 1 for 2 today. He flied out to left fielder Carson Wright and singled in his last at-bat. Our score is tied 2-2. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Tigers. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rangers. Here's the first pitch. Squaring around a bunt. Pulls back. It's ball 1. Harding now leading Southern Nazarene by a score of 6-1. They're in the top of the 6th with 1 out. Here it's 2-2. There's 1 out in the top of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. And that's outside, I suppose. And that'll move the count to 2-0. The count. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Isaac Nowell on second. Cole Bedwell at first. Back-to-back singles for the Tigers here in the top of the 6th with 1 out. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled off, and that'll bring the count to 2-2. Two and two the count. Kirian Terrio leading the Tigers in hitting in this early part of the season. Came into this game hitting .364. Here the count is even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted foul. And the count will hold at 2-2. Rangers with a right-handed pitcher warming up in their bullpen. 2-2 the count. 1 out, top of the 6th. DeHaas gets the sign. And he's going to throw back to second, but Isaac Nowell is back safely. Two and two the count. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed for strike 3. Meanwhile, the runners are off, and the throw from third. And they called Isaac Nowell safe at third base. And there you go. It's a double steal. So the Tigers, who have not run a lot this year, in fact, that's only stolen bases number 5 and number 6 on the season, and they've only attempted 8 so far. Coach Ryan Bowen for the Rangers out to have a chat. So the conversation is over. Tigers now have runners on second and third. Cade Burris to the plate now. There's 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Cade Burris is 0 for 2 today. He is grounded out and flied out. And the first pitch from DeHaas is going to be low. The count's going to be 1-0. 1-0 the count. Our score is tied 2-2. Back-to-back singles and then a double steal have put runners on second and third for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. DeHaas about to throw pitch number 95 on the day. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. So that'll move the count to 2-1. Reese McWilliams in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. And the 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike. And the count moves to 2-2. 2-2 the count. DeHaas trying to work out of a jam. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. And the count moves to 3-2. So 3-2 the count. Cade Burris at the plate. Reese McWilliams on deck. Score tied 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. And Garrett DeHaas comes up with a big pitch in the big moment. And the Tigers are retired. They get runners to second and third, but they're unable to do anything with it. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Colby Grace, Brady Bejarano, and Zach Vital to bat for the Rangers. Our score is tied 2-2. Cooper Timmons on to work the 6th inning for the Tigers. And he'll face Colby Grace, Brady Bejarano, and Zach Vital. Our score is tied 2-2. Tigers had an opportunity in the top of the 6th with runners on second and third, but were unable to get anyone across. Colby Grace's first pitch swinging for strike 1. Henderson State and Southwestern as the 0-1 pitch is low for a ball to Colby Grace. Southwestern leading Henderson State by a score of 4-0. They're in the bottom of the 2nd with 2 out. Here our score is 2-2. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be outside for ball 2. Colby Grace is 1 for 2 today. He has singled and he has flied out. 2-1 the count. Rangers leadoff hitter here in the 6th. That ball is going to be skied into right center, and the catch is going to be made by Talon Heine, and there's the first out of the inning for the Rangers. So that'll bring up Brady Bejarano to the plate. Brady is 0 for 1 today. He struck out in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat, but he was picked off first base by Cooper Timmons. Timmons has now thrown 98 pitches, and the first pitch to Bejarano is lifted into shallow center field. Up is Heine, but back is the second baseman Wesley Scott, who makes the catch. And it's 2 quick outs for the Rangers here in the bottom of the 6th. So Zach Vital will come to the plate. Zach is 0 for 2 today. He is struck out and flied out to shallow right field. Here's the first pitch from Timmons. That's off the plate for ball 1. Want to know the count. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. As Cooper Timmons crosses the 100 pitch mark, now at 101. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted foul. Cole Bedwell, first baseman for the Tigers, goes over and has a look. And he confirms, yes, indeed, it is foul. So 2-1 the count. Jacob Wiltshire on deck for the Rangers. The score is tied 2-2. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside. Nope, it caught the outside corner. So that'll move the count to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Tigers and Rangers are tied 2-2. Here's Timmons. And the 2-2 pitch is going to be knifed foul over the right field fence. Count will hold at 2-2. Harding now leading Southern Nazarene by a score of 9-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And the 2-2 pitch is outside for ball 3. 3-2 the count. Zach Vital, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that ball's going to be chopped to second base. Wesley Scott can't come up with it, picks the ball up, throws over to first, but Zach Vital beats the throw. So Wesley Scott with the error at second base. Zach Vital, however, is safe at first. And that'll bring up Jacob Wiltshire to the plate. Wiltshire is 0 for 2 today. He has flied out and struck out swinging. Rangers, though, have a runner at first. Here's the first pitch to Wiltshire. That's outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Timmons checks the runner at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted into center field. Heine is there. Heine makes the catch. And there's the third out for the Rangers in the bottom of the 6th. On to the 7th we go. It's Tigers 2, Rangers 2. On to pitch the Rangers' seventh is going to be 6'2" junior out of Muscatine, Iowa, Dawson Toborg. Toborg on the season, be his fourth appearance on the year. Got an ERA of 6.35 and 5 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 4 earned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. Also given up 1 home run. Opponents are hitting .333 off of him. And he'll face Reese McWilliams, Josh Bolin, and Talon Heine, who are scheduled to hit for the Tigers in the top of the 7th. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Tigers, 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rangers. Rangers opening up GAC play this weekend against the Ouachita Baptist Tigers out of Arkadelphia. Toborg hoping to keep the Tigers off the board here. And the first pitch to McWilliams by Dawson Toborg is going to be popped up. Zach Vital back, makes the catch, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out. So that'll bring Josh Bolin to the plate. Bolin was the starting designated hitter today for the Tigers. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out to Hagen Barcelo in his first at-bat. Singled sharply in his second at-bat. Here he faces Rangers reliever Dawson Toborg. And the first pitch from Toborg is a called strike. So 0-1 the count. Talon Heine on deck. And Bolin's going to single sharply to left field for his second hit of the day. And that'll bring Talon Heine to the plate. Heine today is 2 for 3. He has tripled and doubled for the Tigers. He led off the game with a triple. Was eventually thrown out at home plate by Rangers center fielder Trevor Sayre back in the first inning. So the Tigers have a runner on first, 1 out. Here's the pitch, and the first pitch to Heine is low for a ball. The count is 1-0. The count. Josh Bolin at first. And Toborg will throw over to first. Nice job there by Rangers first baseman Dylan Bradford to dig out the throw. Heine came into this game hitting .222. The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. That'll move our count to 1-1. So 1-1 the count, runner on first, top of the 7th. Rangers and Tigers tied 2-2. Here's the pitch, and bunt is laid down up onto this third baseman Colby Grace, makes the throw to first. And there's the second out. Nice play over there again by Dylan Bradford. Colby Grace throwing on the run. Throw was a little low, but Bradford with a nice play over there at first base. So Heine is retired 5-3. And Josh Bolin will advance to second. So G. Allen will step to the plate for the Tigers. He is 0 for 2 today. He has flied out, he has struck out, and he has walked. Get a quick visit to the pitcher's mound, make sure everybody's on the same page for how they want to attack G. Allen. Harding leading Southern Nazarene by a score of 9-1. And Henderson State trailing Southwestern by a score of 4-0. They're in the top of the 3rd with 1 out. Arkansas Monticello will play East Central University with a game tomorrow, then a doubleheader on Sunday. Southeastern will play Southern Arkansas. Their first game is tomorrow, doubleheader on Sunday. Here the score is tied 2-2. There's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And it looks like the Rangers will intentionally walk G. Allen. So that'll bring to the plate Wesley Scott. Scott today's 0 for 3. He is grounded out, and he is flied out. Here's the first pitch from Toborg, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 1. So runners on first and second. Josh Bolin following the single, then advanced to second on the sacrifice bunt by Talon Heine. G. Allen was intentionally walked to bring up Wesley Scott. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Our score's tied at 2. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into shallow right field or left field. Carson right there makes the catch, and the Tigers are retired. We're moving to the bottom of the 7th. Our score is tied 2-2. On the pitch for the Tigers will be the left-hander out of McKinney, Texas, Cameron Marchand. Marchand will make his 4th appearance on the season. He has 1 save. He's pitched 5 2/3 innings. He's given up 5 hits, no earned runs. He's walked 3, struck out 4. Opponents are hitting .227 against him so far on the season. Colin Timmons for the Tigers went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. Both of them earned. Gave up 4 hits, walked 5, and struck out 6. And Marchand into face Dylan Bradford, Carson Wright, and Hagen Barcelo for the Rangers. Bradford will lead things off. Came into this game hitting a ridiculous .448 on the season. So far today, he is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, grounded out to first base, and walked. Here's the first pitch from Marchand, the lefty, and that's going to be outside for ball 1. So want to know the count. Last year, Marchand led the Tigers in appearances. The 0-1 pitch or the 1-0 pitch is outside for ball 2. Marchand had 24 appearances with 3 starts. Finished the year with 3-1 with a save, a 6.25 ERA, 31 strikeouts, only 14 walks. Here he's behind in the count to Rangers hitter Dylan Bradford at 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike, and the count moves to 2-1. So 2-1 the count. to Dylan Bradford. Carson Wright and Hagen Barcelo set to hit next for the Rangers. 2-1 the count. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Here's the pitch, and the 2-1 pitch is going to be low for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-1. 2 runs on 7 hits and an error for the Tigers. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors for the Rangers. The Rangers got to Cooper Timmons early, scoring 2 runs in the first, and have been shut out since. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit to third base, and that's not going to, is it going to go foul? It's going to go foul. So that'll move the count to 3-2. Terrio, third baseman for the Tigers, came up like he wanted to grab the ball. The ball just got away from him, but fortunately for the Tigers, it rolled foul. I'm not sure Terrio would have had the ability to throw out Dylan Bradford anyway. Bradford, a speedy first baseman for the Rangers. So the count's 3-2. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Nobody out. Nobody on for the Rangers. In a 2-2 ball game. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be roped over to first baseman Cade Bedwell is up with it, flips to the pitcher, and there's the first out of the inning. So for the second time today, Dylan Bradford hits the ball hard, but right at first baseman Cole Bedwell, and he's retired again. That'll bring up Carson Wright to the plate. Wright today is 1 for 2. He has tripled and he has walked, and he has grounded out to shortstop Reese McWilliams. Here's the first pitch from Marchand, and that's over for strike 1. So 0-1 the count. Tigers have a right-handed pitcher warming up in their bullpen. Count is 0-1 to Carson Wright. Here's the pitch, and that's low for a ball, and that'll move the count to 1-1. Harding now leading Southern Nazarene by a score of 10-1. The count is 1-1 to Rangers hitter Carson Wright. He'll foul that one off, and the count will move to 1-2. Henderson State has scored 2 runs in the top of the third. They now trail Southwestern by a score of 4-2. 1-2 the count to Carson Wright. Nobody on in the bottom of the seventh. Our score is tied 2-2. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. And that'll even the count at 2-2. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Two and two the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be knifed into right field, but foul. Count will hold at 2-2. Rangers with hits from Carson Wright, Hagen Barcelo, Trevor Sayre, and Colby Grace today. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be chopped to third base. Terrio up with it and the throw, and he retires Carson Wright. And there's the second out of the inning for the Rangers. So that'll bring up Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo today is 1 for 2. He has walked and he has singled. Rangers trying to get something going here in the bottom of the seventh. Only 4 hits today, but they have walked 6 times. Here's the first pitch to Hagen Barcelo. That's off the plate for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that ball is just going to be hit to pitcher Marchand, flips over to first, and the Rangers are retired in the 7th. To the 8th we go. Rangers and Tigers are tied. Our score is 2-2. On to the 8th we go. Isaac Nowell, Cole Bedwell, and Kirian Terrio to bat for the Tigers. Dawson Toborg out to pitch the 8th inning for the Rangers. It would be his second inning of relief. Garrett DeHaas for the Rangers started this game, pitched well. Now it's up to the Ranger bullpen. The first pitch is going to be hit to shortstop Wiltshire, up with it. Fires to first, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out for the Tigers in the 8th. So Toborg, whose favorite movie is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and counts as his most significant non-athletic achievement, graduating from high school in 4 years. Pitching well for the Rangers here in the top of the 8th. There's 1 out. Cole Bedwell to the plate. He is 1 for 3 with a single. And the first pitch to Bedwell is over for a strike. And the count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Just a reminder, following this game will be the second game of our doubleheader. The 0-1 pitch to Bedwell's inside for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. 1-1 the count. We're in the top of the 8th in a 2-2 ball game. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. That'll move our count to 2-1. Rangers got 2 in the first, and the Tigers got 2 in the 5th, and that's been the scoring today. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's over for a strike, and the count moves to 2-2. Toborg gets the sign from Zach Vital. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. And so now the count runs full. It's 3-2 to Cole Bedwell. Kirian Terrio on deck for the Tigers. Some stirring in the Rangers bullpen. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be lifted foul. And the count will hold at 3-2. 3-2 the count. 1 out in the top of the 8th. Toborg gets the sign, and here's the payoff pitch, and that's high for ball 4. So that'll bring to the plate Kirian Terrio. Terrio today's 1 for 3. He has singled, he has struck out, and he flied out to Rangers left fielder Carson Wright in his first at bat. Runner on first, 1 out, top of the 8th. Our score is tied 2-2. 2 runs on 7 hits for the Tigers, 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rangers. Tigers also have an error in this game. And here's the first pitch to Terrio, and that's a called strike. The count is 0-1. Rangers starter Garrett DeHaas went 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, walked 2 and struck out 4, gave up 6 hits. Toborg fires to first, but Bedwell is back safely. And so that's 2 really solid starts in a row by Rangers pitcher Garrett DeHaas. 1 out in the top of the 8th, runner on first. Count is 0-1, fire to first. Another great stop by Ranger first baseman Dylan Bradford. Here's the 1-0 pitch, or the 0-1 pitch, and it's going to be fouled off, and that'll move the count to 0-2. So 0-2 the count. Kirian Terrio at the plate for the Tigers. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Nope, they're going to say he fouled it off. So the count will hold at 0-2. Cole Bedwell on first by virtue of the walk issued by Rangers reliever Dawson Toborg. 0-2 the count. Cade Burris in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. Harding leads Snoo now by a score of 10-1. They're in the top of the 8th. And Henderson State trails Southwestern 4-2 in the top of the fourth. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and the 1-2 pitch is fouled off. Count holds at 1-2. Rangers with a right-hander up in their bullpen. 1-2 the count here. Runner on first, one out. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be ball 2. So 2-2 the count, one out, the top of the 8th. Our score is tied 2-2. Here's the pitch, and the 2-2 pitch is going to be fouled off. The count will hold at 2-2. Two and two the count. We're in the top of the 8th. Fire to first. Back safely is Bedwell. We mentioned earlier that this is not a team that has run a lot so far this year. Two and two the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into shallow right field. Sachin is on and makes the catch, and there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring to the plate Cade Burris. Burris today is 0 for 3. He is struck out. He flied out to Ranger left fielder Carson Wright and grounded out to second baseman Hagen Barcelo. Cole Bedwell on at first base for the Tigers, but now there's 2 outs in the top of the 8th. And the pitch is high for ball 1. So 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That ball's going to be roped into left field for a base hit, and it's going to be trouble. Bedwell rounds second. He's on his way to third. Wright is up with it. Bedwell rounds third. He's coming home. He's going to score, and the Tigers have taken the lead in this game. So Cade Burris with the RBI double right down the left field line. And the Tigers strike in the top of the 8th with a clutch 2-out hit from Cade Burris. Tigers now lead it by a score of 3-2. So that'll bring up Reese McWilliams. McWilliams stays 0 for 2. He has walked, he has struck out, and he popped out. Here's the first pitch from Toborg. It's outside for ball 1. Rangers with 4 come from behind wins so far on the season, including 3 walk-offs. And they'll need to come from behind again today. 1-0 the pitch to Reese McWilliams. Here's the pitch. And that's down the middle for a strike. So 1-1 the count. Runner on second, 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be hit to shortstop Jacob Wiltshire. Up with it, makes the throw, and there's the third out. But the Tigers get a run. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Rangers trailing this one by a score of 3-2. The Rangers will send Paul Sachin, Trevor Sayre, and Colby Grace to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. Cameron Marchand on to work his second inning of relief work for the Tigers. Sachin will lead us off. He is 0 for 2 today. He has walked, he has struck out, and hit into a fielder's choice. Rangers trying to answer back the one run that the Tigers got in the top of the 8th, and the first pitch to Paul Sachin is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. As Paul Sachin leads off the 8th inning, here's the pitch, and the 1-0 count is taken for a strike, and that'll move the count to 1-1. Well, the Rangers have not had a lot of hits today, only 4. They have walked 5 times. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be hit sharply to second baseman Wesley Scott. He's up with it, fires to first, and the Rangers have their first out of the inning. So that'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate. Sayre today has one of the Rangers' 4 hits. He's 1 for 3. He is singled, he is grounded out, and he is struck out. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the first pitch from Marchand, and that's nicks the outside corner. And the count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Bottom of the 8th, 1 out. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 3-2. Here's the pitch. And Sayre will foul that one off, and that'll move the count to 0-2. 0-2 the count. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. 3 runs on 8 hits and an error for the Tigers. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Here's Marchand with the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be fouled off, and the count will hold at 0-2. Ouachita Baptist with a very good bullpen last year. And with a very good bullpen this year. 0-2 the count, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Rangers trailing at 3-2. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to get through for a base hit. So Trevor Sayre has his second hit of the day. And the Rangers try to get something going here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring to the plate Colby Grace. Grace also has a hit today. He's 1 for 3. He is popped up to first. He is flied out to center. And he is singled to left field. Now the Rangers with a runner on first. The Rangers did steal their 16th base of the season earlier in this game. The first pitch to Colby Grace is taken for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Trevor Sayre, speaking of Rangers stolen bases, has 3 on the year. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for ball. And that'll move our count to 1-1. So 1-1 the count. Cameron Marchand facing Colby Grace. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Rangers trailing at 3-2 with a runner on first. Here's the pitch. And the 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. And the count moves to 2-1. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be chopped to short. McWilliams up with it, over to second for 1, on to first. And the Rangers are retired in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. Rangers trailing at 3-2. On to pitch the Rangers' ninth is going to be Jacob Shaw. Shaw, a junior out of Hastings, Nebraska, making his fourth appearance on the season. He's 2-0. He has a save. He's pitched 4 2/3 innings, given up 3 hits, no earned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. Opponents are hitting 188 off of him so far this season, and he will face Josh Bolin, Talon Heine, and G. Allen for the Tigers. Josh Bolin will lead things off. He is 2 for 3 today. He has a pair of singles to go along with a ground out, 4-3 to Hagen Barcelo. The first pitch from Jacob Shaw is taken for strike 1. It'll be Josh Bolin, Talon Heine, and G. Allen to bat for the Tigers. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Count moves to 0-2. The Rangers struck early in this game, got 2 runs off of Tiger starter Cooper Timmons, but have been held off the scoreboard since. The 0-2 pitch is low for a ball, and the count moves to 1-2. The Tigers struck for 2 runs in the 5th, and then another run in the 8th. And there's our 3-2 Ouachita Baptist lead. Here's the pitch, and that's a little check swing, but it's over to first. Dylan Bradford up with it. And there's the first out of the 9th inning for the Tigers. So Talon Heine steps to the plate. Heine today's 2 for 4. He led the game off with a triple. He has also doubled. Two for 4 day so far for the Tigers center fielder. Jacob Shaw with the first pitch. That's grounded to shortstop Jacob Wiltshire. Up with the throw. And there's the out. So Jacob Wiltshire making a very difficult play at shortstop. Look, fairly routine. There's 2 outs. Jacob Shaw, 5 pitches. Managed to retire the first 2 Tiger hitters. That'll bring up G. Allen. Allen in this game is 0 for 2. He has walked. He has been intentionally walked. The first pitch to Allen, peeled down to first base, and they said, yes, he did go around. And so it's 0-1. He has also flied out to right field and been called out on strikes. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. So Jacob Shaw ahead in the count to the TCU transfer, 0-2. 0-2 pitch is fouled off. Count holds at 0-2. It'll be Brady Bejarano, Zach Vital, and Jacob Wiltshire to bat for the Rangers in the bottom of the 9th as they try to get their 5th come-from-behind victory on the season and their 4th walk-off. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. And the count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is outside for ball 2. So the count moves to 2-2. Harding leading Southern Nazarene now by a score of 14-1. They're in the top of the 8th. 14 runs on 21 hits for Harding. Here's the pitch. And the 2-2 pitch is going to be inside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 3-2. Down in Weatherford, Southwestern leading Henderson State by a score of 4-2. They're in the top of the 5th. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's ball 4. So after retiring the first 2 hitters, Jacob Shaw gets ahead in the count to G. Allen, 0-2. That ends up walking him, and that'll bring to the plate Wesley Scott. Scott today is 0 for 4. He is grounded out twice, and he is flied out twice. Here's the first pitch from Jacob Shaw. That's over for strike 1. And the count is 0-1. Nobody warming up for the Tigers, so we assume we'll see Marchand for his 3rd inning of relief work to face the Rangers in the 9th. 0-1 the count here. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-1. G. Allen at first base by virtue of the walk. G. Allen has a stolen base this year on 2 attempts. Here's the pitch. And that's called strike. Move the count to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Runner on first. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Ouachita Baptist leading the Rangers by a score of 3-2. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into left field. Carson right there makes the catch. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Will the Rangers walk off another one? We'll see. It's going to be Bejarano, Zach Vital, and Jacob Wiltshire. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Brady Bejarano set to lead things off for the Rangers here in the bottom of the 9th. He is 0 for 2 today. He has struck out, he has walked, and he has flied out. And he will face the lefty Cameron Marchand. Here's the first pitch from Marchand. That's outside for a ball. Marchand thrown now 26 pitches, 16 of them for strikes. Tigers do have a right-hander up in their bullpen. Brady Bejarano ahead in the count. 1-0, and the 1-0 pitch is taken for a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-0. Zach Vital in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. He would be followed by Jacob Wiltshire. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's over for a strike, and the count moves to 2-1. Two and one the count. Here's the pitch. And the 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike. And that'll move our count to 2-2. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 3-2. Nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Brady Bejarano's the starting designated hitter for the Rangers at the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Will the Rangers come through with another one? Bejarano now at first base. That'll bring up Zach Vital. Vital today is 0 for 3. He has struck out. He flied out to right fielder Isaac Nowell, and he reached by an error. The Rangers now with a runner at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the 9th, trailing this one by a score of 3-2. Cameron Marchand checks the runner at first. And here's the first pitch, squaring around to bunt, but that's going to be bunted foul. And the count is 0-1 to the Rangers catcher. Jacob Wiltshire in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. He would be followed by Dylan Bradford if the Rangers can get something going here in the bottom of the 9th. Oh and 1 the count, runner at first. Scoring to bunt, pulling it back. Count moves to 1-1. 3 runs on 8 hits for the Tigers, 2 runs on 6 hits for the Rangers. The Rangers trail it, looking to be another walk-off win. That ball is bunted back to the pitcher. Marchand up with it, fires to first, and there's the first out. Meanwhile, Brady Bejarano gets to second, and so the sacrifice bunt works. So that'll bring up Jacob Wiltshire to the plate. Wiltshire today is 0 for 3. Well, before we get to Wiltshire, we'll have a visit from Coach. Conversation is ended. Cameron Marchand will stay in the game to face Jacob Wiltshire. Hayden Childers warming up for the Tigers in their bullpen. 6-foot righty out of Cord, Arkansas. But Marchand in to face Wiltshire. Runner at second now. 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. Rangers trailing at 3-2. Here's the first pitch. That ball is going to be sent into center field, and a diving catch by Heine, and the Rangers are going to be doubled up, and that's going to be the ball game. Bejarano was taken off, but a fantastic catch by Talon Heine in center field for the Tigers. And the Rangers fall in game 1 of our doubleheader by a score of 3-2. So 3 runs on 8 hits and an error for the Tigers. 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Rangers walk-off attempt comes up short. We'll have our second game, first pitch here in roughly about 30 minutes. We'll see you then.